Hello everyone, this is Kazrahim bringing you something that I should have done way faster, a review of the M103 American Tier 9 heavy tank destroyer on the line to the E5. We'll start off with a little bit of history, then we'll go into the overall tank stats and research profile, and then some games of course, and my recommendations for gameplay. So, this tank was developed by the United States Army. In response, this was a real tank, so it's not like some kind of weird thingy that the Russians made up. This tank was developed by the Americans to counter the Russian IS-3 tank. When Patton saw the IS-3 tank on the Victory Promenade in Berlin in the late 45, he thought that the Americans and British don't have anything to counter that. Even though it was a little bit over-exaggerating because the IS-3 had a lot of flaws, it wasn't such a perfect tank, but if you looked at it, and in the quantities the Russian actually showed it, it was terrifying. It had great sloped armor, great heavy thick sloped armor, rounded turret, big old ass gun, and it could move decently. They saw that it didn't have any kind of problems, so they knew they were back in the technological race, because the British had to get a new tank. Even though they made the Centurions, the Centurion tank was introduced in the 45, but the Centurion tank with its 20-pounder gun was not able to penetrate the by their conception, it was not able to fight head-on with IS-3, so they actually developed the Conqueror. The Americans, on the other hand, having the same kind of problem that the Pattons and Pershing tanks weren't enough, had to develop a tank that would stand an equal chance fighting against the IS-3 tank, and everything that the Russians could have developed in the meantime. Because you never make a tank to counter a tank, you make a tank to counter a tank and its successor. So yeah, that's a little bit. It only served in the American army, only Americans used it. There were over 300 units that were already drawn from service in 1974, so this tank was quite actually for a long time in the military. But if you think about it, the Centurion was way longer. The Centurion still fights. The main difference being with Americans thinking about how to fight IS-3s is to upgun, to give this tank a bigger gun, and also to give it a very big turret so it can fit 4 people out of crew members. The loaders are over here, both of them, while the commander sits where is this cupola, and the gunner is over here. So they have quite a hard time doing anything around here, especially since this gun is gigantic. It's a 122mm gun, 20mm gun, sorry, in real life. It never saw combat, from what I know. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it didn't saw combat. It was a good design, but the problem was it was designed for Cold War. It was basically a Cold War tank when there was a race of power between Russia, Americans and British. They all tried to counter the Cold War, counter the inevitable fight between the Russians and the rest of the world. But and all of the nations of the Warsaw Pact. But yeah, that's it for history. Let's not dwell into it too much. Tank stats: 1,850 hit points, which is quite good for a tier 9 tank, I have to say. Heavy tank. 57.5 weight limit. Weight and 62 weight limit. That means we have some spare weight limit, and we are not able to fill it up. You can see I have full equipment on this. I have a crew, I have everything, and it has 57.5. That's what you're probably gonna get. 860 horsepower, meaning this tank has actually quite decent acceleration for a heavy tank. It's not 20 to 1, but it's better than 1 to 10, you know. 10 to 1. 3-4 speed limit, meaning, yeah, it's average. It will reach that speed limit without a bigger problem, so it's nothing all that scary. And it actually feels quite maneuverable. If you compare it like to the E75, which will be buffed 8.8, but it has only a 30 speed limit and it almost never gets that 30. It gets that 30 when it's going downhill. So for our tier 9 heavy tank, this has actually pretty decent acceleration and mobility. The top speed isn't awesome, but it's not bad by all means. Sorry. Traverse speed. For the tracks is 28 degrees and for the turret is 32. They're giving us a combined traverse speed of 50, which is good enough. Good enough. There are tanks that have less. This is quite good. You can try to kill most medium tanks trying to flank you if you can rotate your hull. You will have problems with scouts, and if something shots your tracks, you're basically a sitting duck because 32 is not enough to shoot a medium tank running around you. As for armor, this tank actually has very weird frontal armor if you think about it. It has 3mm in the front, 51 in the sides and 38 in the back of the hull, 127 in the front of the turret, 127 in the sides of the turret and 51 in the back. What that means, and why I say it's weird and what that means. Basically, the hull of the M103 is very sturdy. Most people will try to hit your lower plate, but you can see the lower plate is like curved, like this. And same goes for the whole lower plate, it's also curved. So if you're shooting like here from some kind of a weird angle, you're gonna bounce. There's quite a lot of bounces going on from the front plates even. A thing that you have to be cautious of is that this part is actually an ammo rack where you have the clips, the hooks for the tow lines. This is where the ammo rack is. So if M103 is standing right in front of you, just put some shells in here. Maybe you'll get lucky and get an ammo racking hit. Or at least you will critically damage him and he will load longer. As for the 127 in the front of the turret, well, look at the turret and tell me what's the standing feature of it. If a M103 is looking at you, and mind you, the gun mantlet is almost impenetrable. If it's looking straight at you, everything's sloped. Everything. Gold shells will go through. Gold shells always go through. Almost always. But except for this, except for the commander's hatch, you will bounce mostly anything. It's a bigger concern of yours is your hull than your turret. Even though it's only 127mm, it's so well sloped. Look at it. It's basically like saying this part is only the gun chases inside the tank. So we didn't need to start the turret. We wanted the crew to be here. So this part could have been extended and given awesome sloping for the commander for the crew to can get in from the back over here. So the turret is quite good. One thing that I have to say as a weak spot, another weak spot from the front, as I said, the commander's hatch is a big weak spot, and the second one, you can, if you notice, the turret, oh, now you can see it, the turret over here is something like that, and it's a general tendency on the whole turret that it's angled downwards towards the hull of the tank. What that means, that if you aim here on the turret ring, you actually damage and destroy the turret ring. It's quite easy to get shots on a M103 even from the front just by shooting its turret ring. Just shoot a little bit above the driver's hatch and you're gonna get turret ring hits without possibilities of bounces. Of course your shell can bounce, can go not in here, but can go over here and bounce. So yeah, that's a big factor. Also, as I said, this part, and Honestly, sides doesn't matter. You can shoot whatever the hell ever you want. You can see the M103 has a very small hull over the tracks, but you can plainly put shots over here. Over here it wouldn't be a tracking hit, because you're not hitting anything from the tracks, so this place would be actually preferable. I don't know about the shocks, springs, shock absorbers. Are they counted as tracking hits? Back you can easily damage the engine by just shooting the back. The engine is actually over here, so also hits over here behind the turret. If you have shots from the back, honestly, I wouldn't even try to go for the turret. I would put shots in the back plate. I always do that. But if you're feeling like doing damage to the crew, you can put shots over here. They will bounce off and just damage the tank from inside, like this. Because just by ricochets, it will go in, ricochet, and go into the tank. The back of the turret, yeah, this whole thing, which I actually don't know what it is. Probably the ejector for the shells or loading something. I don't know. I really don't know. So that part is probably also a very good thing to shoot. Sorry for the Facebook. Ammo racks, probably ammo rack and loaders would be over here. You could have easily damaged them over here, because both of the loaders are standing. Like here, the gun breech ends. And the loaders, one loader loads shell, like the shell itself, and the second the propeller charge. So I would say they both are over here, so you can damage both loaders. Commander is over here, and the gunner is over here. Driver, of course, in the hull of the tank. So that's for the overall weaknesses of the armor of the tank. Now, view range 390 meters, which is quite normal for tier 9 vehicles. It's nothing impressive, it's nothing bad. 390 is just shy of what the Patton has. The Patton has 410, so it's 20 more. But if you think about it, yeah, I don't have... Oh, there you have it. The E50 has lower, even though I don't have the top turret, so it doesn't count. E75? 400 view range. Yeah, so it's average. It's nothing impressive, nothing bad. It's just exactly the way it has to be. 740 signal range, the normal tier 10 radio for this tank. Now let's go into equipment and crew, and at the end I will talk about the gun and research. So, equipment. Standard heavy tank equipment. Vertical stabilizer, improved ventilation, and large caliber gun tank rammer. What I would recommend, if this gun actually focuses quite good, it's a very good gun, the top gun. You can remove the vertical stabilizer or the ventilation if you're using a, starting crew, not like I have my crew that went from the T29 up to this. I would actually use a toolbox to just get those tracking and like every damage to be repaired faster. And I think that's it. I don't see any sense to mount a heavy spireliner or anything like that. The large caliber gun tank rammer is the most important thing. Second to that for me would be the ventilation and improved ventilation, and then the vertical stabilizer. Crew, a crew of 5. As I said, 2 loaders, driver, gunner, and commander. Commander, obviously, your first set of skills that you want to have after you start with repairs. Once you reach repairs to 100%, change it to repairs to 100%, and the second skill to 50. Then change it for free, give it the first skill. You can either go with BIA, which isn't a bad idea, but I personally went for 6th Sense, for snapshot, clutch braking, repairs, and safe stowage, because the loaders don't have good skills. So only safe stowage is worthwhile. Then the second skill, you reach second skill 100% and the third skill 50%, then you change it up again. You can see the screw, it would be probably able to do that. Drop it and... Oh no, still not. So even more. You would have to go even further with that kind of research. This guy probably should be able. Yeah, two times 100% and 89%. That's because he's my crewmate on the T-34. Second skill, I would say, if you have those primary skills on the first guys, BIA for everyone, Brothers in Arms, to further increase your reload speed, decrease your reload speed, your overall ability of the tank, your crew skills. And third skill, repairs and stuff like situation awareness for the commander. The commander is also the radio operator, so he has actually a lot of skills if you think about it. He has recon, situation awareness to increase your view range. He can get signal boosting to increase the radio range. I don't recommend it. This is not useful at all. But some people like to have mentor on the commander because it gives a little bit more experience on the other crew members, which is always good. But you're lacking one skill on a very important crew member then. Well, you're not lacking. You're basically giving everyone else crew skills while the commander is back. You can go like for it as a third skill, like have Sixth Sense, have Brother in Arms, and then go for mentor, so everyone else will start to pick up speed. And you'll just get mentor to 100% and then get repairs and other skills, obviously. So yeah, that's the crew, that's the equipment. Consumables, you can see I'm using normal consumables, I'm not using any premium consumables. This doesn't require a premium fire extinguisher, and I don't like using those gold repair kits and first aid kits because they just cost too much. As for shell variation for the Top Gun, 28 normal shells, 4 heat rounds, just for those clutch situations when you have to penetrate and you know that you will lack in some kind of way, like you're facing off a T-95, and 1 HE shell just to, you know, either finish off enemies at very low HP, like something around 100, or finishing or disturbing cap. So yeah, that's it. Now let's go into the research of this thing. You will start off with... I'll just check this one. Yeah, you won't start with this. Radio... Also no. Wow. So that's quite bad. So you're starting off with a completely stock tank. The thing that makes this tank work is everything. That's the main problem with it. There isn't a single quality that you will not like about this tank when it's fully researched and alighted. But the main problem with it is that you have to research all of the modules, and it's quite a substantial cost of experience. You can use free experience to get the tracks to increase your mobility a little. It's 24,000 free experience. The engine is 45,000. Radio is not important. It's only 9,000, but it's not important. It's the last priority of you. You will start off with the 105 gun that you got on this tank. It's the exact same gun that you get on tier 7, and now you're in tier 8 with 198mm of penetration and 0.4 accuracy, which is horrible. You're gonna have problems on tier 9s. Everything that has, like, if a M103 gets around you and puts his front towards you, you're gonna have problems penetrating him. You will use either gold shells with 245, which are still not that good, or you have to aim like a boss at weak spots, but that kind of accuracy is ruining it for you. So yeah, I would get the tracks for free experience, then I would start walking my way to the top gun. The first upgrade, let's just compare the two. The first upgraded gun is already a 120mm gun, so it has higher penetration, higher damage, same accuracy, slower rate of fire. What that means, it's actually a good upgrade. I don't see why wouldn't you want that. It's a very good upgrade, I would even say. You get around 44mm of penetration with 340 with heat. Sorry, I'm always confusing the two. With 2.6 aiming time, that's quite longish. But your aiming time, your accuracy is actually worse. 0.4 is quite It's not good at all. I'm used to having 0.3 and stuff like that. But no, this gun actually behaves quite good. So yeah, you get something like that. With that kind of penetration, you're basically getting the amount of penetration you get on the stock gun. Also, when you get this gun, the thing that will be next is obviously the turret. The turrets are quite an upgrade, I have to say. Even though it doesn't look like it on paper, it's basically the same stats with just extended view range. The biggest difference in this are that the stock turret has a very big commander's hatch. The commander's cupola is quite big, and it's a big problem to actually inflict damage upon. It's not a problem to inflict damage upon it. So if you see M103 without the machine gun, it has the stock turret, and you can easily do damage to that. I actually felt that I'm getting hit every single time in that thing. I don't know if my gameplay improved or what, but after I unlocked the upgraded turret, people also are aiming at that, but they are bouncing more, and it's quite easier to do what I need to. So the first gun upgrade is only 25,000 experience, that's not a lot. The turret is 23,000, so that's combined 48. And the last gun is 60,000. That's quite a lot. Some people think that it's better to just get the engine and go straight for the E5. That's not a good idea. First of all, yeah, you unlock this gun, you don't have this turret. So either way, you suck. You didn't like this tank. And honestly, this tank is one of the best tier 9 vehicles. If you're not eliting it and you not want to play it fully elited, then you're doing something wrong, because this tank will teach you how to behave with the E5. How to behave with the tier 10 one, how to anticipate what's going to happen on the battlefield for yourself. So the 60,000, is the 60,000 experience worth it of the upgrade? You get a slightly higher fire rate. This is the fire rate that this gun has on this tank. Slightly higher penetration, but 258 is quite actually good. It had more, it had 269, but they nerfed it last patch, 8.7. 400 damage, so it's the same, but the accuracy goes down to 0.37, so 0.03 better, and the aiming time goes also down by 0.3 seconds. So those stats are quite substantial. That is an upgrade. It's by no exception a downgrade or just a slap upgrade. This gun actually behaves awesomely. It has a faster rate of fire, has more penetration, has better accuracy and better aiming time. You cannot ask for more unless you are weird and want for it to weight less. The rate of fire advantage is quite small, but still, it's quite good. So that's it for the garage review. Let's go and grab some games so you guys can see how this tank behaves. So this is the first game, and we can see we're in a pretty heavy matchup. Tier 9s, 10s. That's quite bad for us. But the M103 is able to fight on uneven ground with anything in this game, so we should be fine. We're playing on Sacred Valley, right? Yeah, Sacred Valley. So let's look what this tank is able of. You can see we're going uphill, basically pushing the Object 704 because he's as fast as we are, even though he will reach higher speeds on even ground, but so we're just running around here, and maybe something on the Foch. Tier 9 tank destroyer. Can we? Ricochet. I aimed a little bit too low. Now I try to aim my... and boom! See that? 370 meters. Commander's hatch hit. This gun has actually better accuracy than it's saying on paper. Now I completely miss. Waiting for something to happen, waiting for my opportunity, and I hear a gold round going off right beside me. Another hit in the commander's hat for the highest damage possible. 500 damage. So we did already 900 damage to the Foch. He will back off from over there. But now I went into third perspective. I see the object is quite beat up, and our Jagdjäger is basically not doing a hell lot. Now I took a little bit too much of a snapshot. Just looking for targets of opportunity. That type is T54 is annoying me, but I'm not able to get shots on him. Now I get hit by the Foch in the side of my turret, but the Foch dies. But I don't know about one thing that I'm gonna learn in a second. Now I get hit by something. E50 puts a gold round into me. Or the bad shot. So I lost quite a bit of life without doing almost anything. Now I put a shot in T54, I get shot again by the bad shot. Gold rounds for the win. Because we all know that if you're playing a tier 10 tank and you lack skill, you have to use gold shells. Unfortunately that shell went a little bit low. I should have aimed tiny bit higher. It would inflict actually damage to the tank. Now I'm just trying to get hits on him while being cautious to not get hit by the E50. I put a hit in his commander's hatch. E5 puts a hit into me. I'm low at life. So I'm thinking I have to take care of this E5. Now I miss my shot by a tiny bit, but I bounce a E5 shells off the front of the turret. And now I'm just waiting for my reload. Waiting for the reload. Waiting for this guy to do a mistake. To stop for a second. I take a weird shot at the Jagdjäger. But now I'm trying to be a little bit more side scrapers. This tank actually doesn't have such a big weak spot as the E5, but I still get hit in the commander's hatch by the T50. Put a hit in the bad shot. Bad shot, I don't know what he's doing. I know he's using gold, but he's focusing on the E75. And he didn't move. I don't know why. I would fall back immediately in his place. So now I just try to hide my... You can see I'm aiming my turret at the MX without the intent of actually hitting him. He bounces off. Now I'm thinking, RT, please hit him. RT, please hit him. Yes! RT hit him. So now the guy doesn't know that I actually move forward. He focuses himself on something else. I finish him off, kill him. But I'm on 98 life, so I'm a little bit cautious. I see only an IS-8 with me, with full life. That means that all my team was behind me. And the two guys in the bottom are starting to move up. I penetrate the frontal plate, or the front or upper plate of the T-54. Now I'm like, come on, reload, 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 reload. And I finish him off. Finally, the guy was really an annoyance for the whole game for me. And that's gonna be probably it, yeah, because I didn't get to the tiger or the object. And the WZ finishes me off because that's his way of saying that he's better. So let's look at the second game. And this is the second game that I wanted to show you. I'm playing with Set and Vespides. Set is in his E75 and Vespis in his T34 since he didn't have a tier 9. We're playing on Sand River. Yeah. God damn, I'm starting to remember the name of the maps. This is a more tier 8 heavy game, so we can quite honestly be a lot more aggressive. But it's gonna turn out that we can't. So from this kind of range we have problems with inflicting damage upon M103s. We have to actually properly aim at the lower plate. And now I get hit by a Tiger 2. Which is quite weird, but the rule of thumb is always that if you can... That was a great shot. If you can, always like pick off targets when coming around a corner. Always pick the first target, then go back, then go forward until you see the second target. Pick him off, back, and one at a time. Don't go like rushing through, see 6 targets, and just you can make up your mind. And I have to say the Tiger had an amazingly good shot with that kind of precision that he inflicted. He did 300 damage. This is the top gun. I take a blind shot, but I knew where they were last scene, so I'm thinking like, okay, this should be the place where I'm gonna get some hits. I actually dipped a few times in this game, M103 from this kind of range, and I'm thinking, no, I don't want to shoot it. We all fluke on the VKs, but the Comet had a very, very bad game. He basically came around the corner and 3 tanks penetrated him from the front, so I put a shot in the VK. Seth is screaming that he wants to inflict damage on the VK because that's his main tank. That's his... he's playing that tank and he hates it like nothing else in the world. So you can see now I'm doing exactly opposite what I'm saying. I should be less exposed, but I was thinking like Seth is gonna finish off this guy. I'm reloading and I'm thinking, oh screw it. One less gun to fire at us. Because they ricocheted off him, and I thought like, no, I have to get the kill, so it's one tier 9 gun less firing at us. I unfortunately missed the M103. The M103s from this kind of range and this kind of position are very hard to deal with. Now I think I was saying, again I missed. The M103 started using gold. We could have heard the hissing sound where you fire gold shells. Now I finally put a hit in the M103 commander's hatch. And now just running around trying to get some hits out. I see the tiger that shot me. The shot actually went off good, but a little bit too good. It was a miss, but it was very near the point when it would actually penetrate. So now I put another shot into him. I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. Like I'm watching those games and I'm criticizing myself for doing stupid things. I tried to put another hit in the tiger. I don't know if it actually hit. So let's start moving. Tiger seems to get hit. Yeah, now I told Vesp, please go take care of the super Pershing so we don't have to think about him. Vesp says affirmative. That's what platoons are all about. I know I'm a little bit bitchy when I'm in a platoon or when don't want to platoon. Now I do a very stupid thing. I come over this corner, bounce around for 5 minutes, miss a shot, lose 700 life for no reason. I should have stick to where I'm going right now. Seth finally kills one of the M103s, and that thing over there is gonna be atrociously bad to kill. Those 2 tanks were such an annoyance in this game. Vesp killed the super Pershing, now coming back to us. You can see, even though I'm at very long range, my shots almost go exactly where I want them, but there is a lot of shots that just go somewhere. Now I bounce again. That shot I didn't bounce. I missed because I aimed too low. I aimed exactly at the wheel at the turret. I aim again, but Seth finishes him off. So I just try to walk my way around the side script from this wreckage. Gun unfortunately derps. I'm getting low on shells actually. I didn't even see that I got low on shells in this game. And you can see one time you have a bad shot and one time an amazing shot. I'm low on life, but I actually got hit in the track. So I back out, allow my teammates to move in. Allow especially Seth, because he has way more alive than me and he has a tank that can just go forward and do roar with a lot of life, but he got a shot, he got shot right now and he should probably angle his tank. Now I'm also moving up into position. I see the guy, I'm moving up. They shot me, I should just like on the move. VK puts one into my tracks. He gets killed by Vesp, who does a sneaky T-34 smash from the back. This was a game won by capture. Even though we had superior numbers, but the other flank just wasn't performing all that good. But yeah, you can notice, like, I'm gonna speed it up, because I left him so my teammates would finish him off, but I see they're not. I miss a shot. And I'm just coming around here looking. And that's basically... This shot was the last shot of the game, so let's stop it at this. Let's go into the garage back. So, the M103. It's a very strong tank on medium to long ranges. You will fluke some shots on long ranges, but medium range you should be pretty much able to hit what you're aiming, and your tank overall is a very hard target from long range. Without using gold shells, a lot of shells will just bounce because they will be improperly aimed at your lower plate or at your commander's hatch, which both are very hard to hit. Well, the lower plate isn't that hard to hit, but it has a good chance of bouncing. What I would also want to say, you saw the mobility of the tank, it's quite decent, it can keep up, especially when you're a more offensive player. Like, I start the game very offensive, I always get into position first without thinking about where the team is and stuff like that. That's a little bit of a downside for me, but what the hell. I just like to do that. Armor wise, you saw, we dinked. Gun is great. It's the tier 10 gun. It's even better on the E5. The E5, hands down, is one of the best tier 10 tanks, heavy tanks, because of the gun. Its only true downside is its horrible commander's thingy machine gun port, whatever called. If this thing wasn't here, this tank would be, I think, one of the best tier 10 tank as heavy go, because it has speed, it has armor, it has damage, it has everything. It's just such a good all-around tank. I'm thinking about doing a review of it next week, but we'll see how it goes. So I hope you enjoyed the review. I played 311 games with the M103, having a 58 percentage win ratio, ace tanker, average damage of almost 2200 damage, and an average experience of 911. So as I go, I'm an average player, so those stats are very good. Just to compare it, even the Centurion that I loved every single game in it, I have lower stats than that. The only thing that exceeded it is... I don't even know, do I have a tank that exceeded the M103 in stats? To have above 2000. I think the E5 actually... E5 has the same kind of damage, but it fires faster. So yeah, that's what you can see a tendency growing over there. I think the only tank... Nope. Yeah, the M103 is the tank that I have the most damage inflicted upon enemy tanks. On average, per game, I roughly kill 1.3 tank per game. So as I said, great tank, all-arounder that can do amazing amount of damage, amazing amount of pain to the enemy team. If you know how to play it, it's the most rewarding tank in the game. For me at least. It's a tank that I didn't sell, and I started playing it again, and I'm enjoying every single game in it because it's just such a good all-around tank. So thank you guys for watching this review. Hit the like button if you liked it, if you enjoyed it, if you find it informative, and I'll see you guys next time.